Did you know there's different ways that you can save a document so it saves into a different format? If you didn't, now you know, or you're going to learn. So, this is looking at how to print something as a PDF and then also how you can do some simple edits to that PDF. So, what you need to do is you can print as a PDF. When you go to print, you just select the print to PDF instead of the printer. The document will get saved onto your desktop that you can choose the location of. And this just looks nicer. If you're going to turn it in, so like say when I was in college, this is how I would turn in my essays. If I'm going to hand in something or turn something in a document that it's not necessarily editable to say Tim or to a colleague, I might do this. If it's going to a family, because sometimes Google Docs don't show up very nice, but PDFs always do. So that's a huge advantage of why you'd want to use a PDF instead. It also looks nicer if you're going to share it with like out in public in general. At the campground, a lot of times I'll make something and like an activity sheets and it's on Google, but then I will save it as a PDF to the campground just so that they can access it. And it just looks nicer. Stuff doesn't get moved around. Everything stays as it should. Another thing is if you get into using the Kami extension, so if you have the Kami extension turned on, you need to upload things as a PDF for kids to add things to, and that makes it easy to do. So you need it for those different reasons. I usually export it for a lot of different reasons. Here's another one of the reasons I use it. So like when I print out a worksheet, I like all my things that I have to be digital because then I can edit them as I want. Sometimes though, like with Science World, we get these really nice skill sheets, but I don't really want to retype them because they look really nice, but I do want to add some information to them. So this is where I could do a few things. You do see this Kami kind of trying to pop up with me because it's like, hey, I know what to do here. But I'm only going to want, say, 4 of these pages. So to save just 4 of these pages, this is also why printing as a PDF would be helpful, is because I can go, so it says save as PDF. And so if it says like a printer, you'll need to change it to something else. And let's say I went through and I really like page 2. I like page 6. Maybe page 8, and then I was like, oh yeah, actually page 3 I also like. So I'm going to select those ones, and then I'm going to click save. And then this is going to save to my downloads. I can choose somewhere else if I want. I have it as downloads, and I probably want to call this like Science World, and if you look at the bottom there, it's May 11th of 2020. So I'll do that, save it as a PDF document, and click save. Now, when I send out this packet to say the Copy Center, it only has the 4 pages I need. Or if I'm going to upload this to Google Classroom, it only has the pages I need. Now, that other thing I said is you can make some simple edits to a PDF. So let's say you want to send this out as a Kami assignment, but you also want to add a few more directions to it. Or maybe you're printing it out as a Science World and you want a few more directions on it. Maybe you want to move around some of the pages on there. So I'm going to go to my downloads here. And so I just saved it as Science World May 11th. So I'll click on this. Now let's say I really don't want this to be page 1. I can just click and drag them around until they're in the order I want. Something I really like to do is put the password at the top. So if students are like, what's the password? I'm like, did you read the packet? They're like, oh. So there's this little markup on here, and it's kind of by the search bar. So you'll click on that, and it'll show the markup toolbar. If you click on this little T, it'll add text. And I usually go, password is, I think this last year it was Bartles 2019. It might have been something slightly different, but for our purposes, it works just perfect for today. I can go in and change this and make it bigger if I wanted, or bold it, or change the color to black if I wanted. And I usually, sometimes there's a page that I'm like, oh, I like both of these. I'll let the kids pick. So I'll go complete this page. And then on other pages, I'll put choose between this one or another one. And something else that I like to also add sometimes is which issue it is. So this is May 11th, 2020. I think there was Superwoman. So I can have all of that information. Now I will have to like manage to figure out how it's going to fit on here because I need that little hand. I'm going to need to figure out how to get this to all fit on here because it's not quite like a Google Doc where I can just add things as I want because I can't change where it says an invisibility trick. This is just like an overlay over top of everything. But it's just kind of nice because I can do that. And let's say in here, maybe I don't really want, for some reason, I just want them to answer these questions. I don't know why I would, but we'll pretend for now that I don't want them to have these things. But if I wanted, I could block this out by just filling it in with a nice white and giving it a white border. And then if I wanted to add a new question here, like, how was your day? I can. It's not perfect. I'll give you that. But it's options. And if I'm going to be doing something for Cami, I can maybe have them add something here. Maybe I'm going to ask them to draw a picture here or do something to that effect. But being able to mark it up on here is kind of nice because I can add and change as I wish. I can move around these pages within the PDF. It's such a little thing, but it's something that I don't know many people know about. So now you do. Share it with the world. That's what I'm trying to do. We do have one last section left that I was going to get to for this hacks, tips, and tricks. So I'll see you in that last video.